Welcome back to another dev update. We're here with Brandon Kerner, lead dev on the Discreet project. Brandon, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been an exciting month. Testnet launched, and that's mostly what we're here to talk about. So let's get to it. How is Testnet going?
Well, we had a little bit of a bumpy start, which was to be expected. As we said multiple times, a lot of the stuff that we're testing is extremely experimental. And the biggest thing that we can do for you guys is to essentially give you what we've been working on in as best a state as we can. But part of the reason why we're doing Testnet is also to collect very essential feedback on both the user experience and also the operating conditions of our program, of the Discreet network. And so this has allowed us to fix a lot of the problems. And as of today, we actually have a lot of stuff very stable now. So I just wanted to thank everybody who's participated thus far. And I'm hoping for more people to enjoy the software that we've made.
Oh, that's great. So we're at a place where you're happy with how Testnet is going at this point?
Yes.
Awesome. You mentioned a bit of a rocky start. What were some of the issues that you saw out of the gate that you've been working on?
Well, back when we were testing just the coin layer, so just testing out the coin logic, the different network conditions, as well as RPC and wallets. This is the testnet that we launched in October 30th of 2022. That provided us a lot of information on how to improve a lot of our database operations. When we switched over to using the consensus-enabled, essentially mainnet-ready testnet, we did not expect to have blocks being validated so fast. And what ended up happening was we had a lot of race conditions in the database. One of the downsides of this is the way Triptych works and Triptych being our ring signature tool that essentially allows for anonymity on the network. It relies on a total ordering of all the objects in the database. And for blockchain, these are unspent transaction outputs or UTXOs. We were having an issue where multiple blocks were being written to the database at the same time. And so what ended up happening was this total ordering wasn't deterministic anymore. So one computer might have written block 50 2 times, while the other computer could have written it just once. This wasn't a problem for our block authors, which operate in a very deterministic fashion, but for the way networking works, because we can't guarantee that all packets will basically reach the same destination at the same time, this led to some inconsistencies between computers. So where a Triptych proof might validate on one computer with the correct UTXO ordering, it wouldn't validate on another one. And this essentially created issues within the network itself. So the first thing we had to do was write a buffer system on top of the database, which would allow for, first of all, faster validation and periodic flushing of the database from memory. And the second thing was to guarantee that this total ordering happened. And so now we can check if we write duplicate blocks. So that was fixed.
Oh, great. Well, this is the kind of thing that you run a testnet to find out.
Yep. Another thing we fixed was we added a new packet type. Because of the way consensus works, we can validate multiple blocks within the same interval. While minting blocks always happens according to the block scheduler between the different block authors, the validation of blocks, multiple blocks can be validated within the same validation interval for consensus on the ORM side. So we added a new packet type called send blocks, which would send a packet of blocks instead of just a single block for propagation throughout the network. This caused some spam because we forgot to check against the new buffer system as well as the orphan chain system, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but that has been fixed. And we also added in a bunch of tools. So when we do push a lot of new features to the testnet, the daemon will now automatically recognize the older systems and essentially assist in clearing out that chain to prevent malicious activity or pseudo-malicious activity. While it's not intended to be malicious, people running older versions of the chain will accidentally send those blocks to peers who are synced against them. So by adding this tool in, we can actually make sure that, first of all, if someone is running an older version of the blockchain, we can essentially prune that blockchain and update to the latest one, as well as update their authority key set. So they are actually validating the current block authors instead of the previous block authors.
Okay. Well, I know you and the other devs have been busy working on Testnet. If you're happy with where it is right now, what's next?
A lot of the stuff that we have planned is based around the new website coming up soon. We also want to improve a lot of the user experience, quality of life type things for the daemon, for the wallet, and for any other tools that we launch alongside Discreet as we gear up for mainnet. In addition to that, and within the daemon, we want to improve a lot of the efficiency of different systems within it. This includes caching a lot of the data in memory better for faster validation, batching together different signature proofs so we can do a lot faster verification, improving the networking. So this includes the implementation of anchors and peer scores, and essentially making each node a lot more skeptical and capable of telling if a peer is malicious or just Byzantine, or if it's working properly. So essentially making our network more resilient against any potential attacks or malicious behavior. There's a lot more too, but yeah.
Awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss in this dev update, or you need to get back to work?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Look forward to hearing more as Testnet progresses and as we move forward with Discreet. I'm excited for how things are going, and thank you so much for being here.
Yep, thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.